Hey, what's up, AfterBuzzers? Welcome back. Happy St. Valentine's Day. You guys, 13 Stitches was on fire. Selena and Penguin are partners. Lee is back, and Barbara is pregnant. Stay tuned for more.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
AfterBuzz.
So I just realized that I keep saying like Happy St. Valentine's Day because like in Spanish you say San Valentin and like I keep saying it and then I'm like, wait, that's not the right way to say it.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, guys. What's up? I am your host, Karla Beltran. So excited to be here tonight on Valentine's Day with my lovely Valentine as of 2 minutes ago. My lovely co-host, Zack.
Hi. We're even wearing Valentine's colors. You have the red, I have the pink. We're rocking it.
We're ready.
We just need some champagne and some truffles.
I know. We're missing our third Valentine. Steve couldn't make it tonight, but tonight But
it's okay. He's getting late. He's good.
You guys, this episode, we have so much to cover. I don't even know where to begin, but I want to start with the new duo, Selena and Penguin. How do you feel about this partnership?
I mean, I didn't see it coming. It was not something that I expected. But I mean, I wasn't against it. I felt like it was a little bit of like an unnecessary side story because, you know, at the end, it was really, they just determined that they're going to kind of work together or that they work together to get the diamond. Like, it just felt like a filler side story other than all the meat that they gave us. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I wasn't against it. I think they made a pretty fun team.
I actually love this partnership.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do. I don't know why. I think that Selena is this awesome young girl that like just kind of goes after it. And Penguin, like he does the same thing, you know? And he started kind of young when he was with like Fish Mooney. So it's kind of like tracing their steps. So I'm really enjoying this. Yeah. I don't know how I feel though about them wanting to leave Gotham.
I don't think, I understood why they would want to leave Gotham, but I think ultimately something is going to happen that's going to remind them. I think right now they feel like there's nothing to be done in Gotham and they're conquerors. You know, Penguin is very much like, I have to be the head honcho, and right now he doesn't see an opportunity to be head honcho in Gotham, so that's why he wants to leave. But I think that they're going to throw a curveball at us and like make them want to stay. There's going to be a reason, and it's probably going to be this big battle between the government and the villains of Gotham.
I see that. Do you think that Selena and Penguin will stay together till the end?
No, I think it'll be kind of be like a they'll be on and off, but ultimately there's going to be a bigger alliance, which which they prefaced us with at the top of this season, saying that or showing us that Penguin, Nigma, and Gordon all kind of come together. Ooh, the live chat is lit right now.
I can imagine. There's so much to say for this episode. Let's move on to Nigma.
Yes.
Okay, so Nigma, if you guys missed last week's episode, Nigma had a chip in his brain that isn't the government
controlling him?
Yeah, but was Walker part of the government? Because right now when she came back, it sounded...
That's what I was a little confused about. Maybe the live chat can actually help us and weigh in on this, because that was something I thought that originally Eduardo was coming in because he said he was part of the government.
Exactly.
And it looks like Walker was part of the government, but I didn't quite understand whether Walker went rogue with Eduardo and now they decided to infiltrate Gotham. But then again, I don't think they would have necessarily had the resources or the military if the government wasn't still involved.
Okay, see, that's what I was thinking. But the thing is that, so clearly they did something wrong. I think Walker and Eduardo did something wrong because apparently she said like, oh, this was our way to clean up and come back. Maybe I'm imagining things, but I think that's what she was saying. Like, oh, this was like our way to go back to like good things, and then now it's been ruined.
I don't fully understand what they're doing. Okay, Ivan Soto says it's not the government. Walker's not the government. The government threw Eduardo away. Okay, so Eduardo and Walker were discarded from the government. But see, the confusing part for me, he said was indeed rogue. But the confusing part for me was that they still had all of the resources of what would come from the government. Like, they
Yeah.
still had all of the military. They still had, say everyone's saying that it was a rogue operation. But then Walker must have bank if she's able to kind of afford and bring in all the resources to still infiltrate Gotham.
Unless if it's not necessarily that, like, I don't know, I feel like everybody wants to come and...
And then that would also be confusing because if the government still doesn't have a tie to it, then that means them broadcasting it, because the whole mission that we saw was Bruce and Gordon trying to broadcast what was on Ed's chip, the chip that they planted into his brain. They were going to broadcast that to the media, but they were going to broadcast it to the media as something that the government was behind.
Yeah. So my question was, did we... And the check-in let me know, because I don't know if I missed it, but did we find out what was the mission for Eduardo and Walker? Like, what's their mission?
They danced around it, but again, I think that's what was confusing, is they danced around what it was, and it looked like he was about to tell Gordon what the actual mission was, because Gordon kept asking, but he didn't directly or explicitly tell him.
Okay.
Before he fell onto the thing and, like, almost died, and of course nobody in Gotham dies.
Nobody in Gotham ever dies, which is the best part, because
I know
we kind of see Bane come to life, I think.
Yes. We did. She
really
put the mask on him at the end, and he had the deep voice.
Yeah.
So I guess they're just going to leave the mask on him from here on out?
I mean, from what it seems, when he pushed him in, it would probably be his lungs that get affected. So that's why he needs the mask. And, I mean, they're going to take him to Hugo Strange, saying Hugo Strange will fix him up.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
He'll stitch him up real quickly.
He'll be back in, like, next episode with 13 stitches.
13 stitches, why?
Well, I feel like everybody got stitches in this episode.
Okay, Nicholas Kelly is saying Teresa Walker was in a high enough position, as well as making this rogue operation, that could possibly be of some use of a black woman leading the government, Amanda Walker. I don't know what the tie is. I feel like this is a step in the right direction for Selena. So they're saying that Walker was in a high enough position that she was able to execute a rogue operation.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, she did seem like she was pretty high up, and she was running Eduardo. Again, I'm just confused as to how they were able to bring in this whole military and use the resources of getting into Gotham. And then Eric Olson says #it's Gotham. So we're probably overanalyzing
so we're all
it.
like, okay, this doesn't make sense, and it's normal because
it's Gotham.
It's Gotham. Well, before we move on to our next subject, do you want to tell our AfterBuzzers?
Our AfterBuzzers that we love them so much. Our Valentines. We love you guys so much, and we're so grateful that you helped make us the ESPN of TV Talk. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel, which is the Sci-Fi channel on YouTube. Be sure to leave comments. If you don't want to get the pesky notifications, don't worry about it. You can go and update those in your settings, but you're going to want to see me, Karla, and Steve. Steve will be back soon. You're going to want to see us every Thursday. He'll be back in 2 weeks, actually. He said he will be back very soon, so you don't want to miss his grand return to close out the season of Gotham. So be sure to subscribe. Also, if you're listening on iTunes, subscribe there and give us a 5-star review, and let everybody else know you love Karla, Zack, and Steve. Ooh, and Steve. I almost sneezed there. But thank you guys so much for being an amazing fan base, and we love you guys in the live chat, so keep commenting.
Literally, thank you guys so much for being loyal and tuning in every single week, and just giving us more to talk about, to think about in the show.
And now we get to finish Gotham all together, you guys.
I know, that's so sad. I haven't actually processed the fact that Gotham is coming to an end, but,
I know.
What's not coming to an end, you guys, is Lee. Because she's back.
She's alive.
Okay, so who called it? Who called that she was going to be back?
You did. Karla Beltran called that one. I mean,
How do you feel about her being back? Do you think she's going to last?
I don't hate it. I don't know if she'll last. So we see that she also has a chip in her brain like Nigma did. Which I'm curious to see how they're going to take the chip out of her, and whether she's going to be good or whether she's going to be a pawn for the government and they're going to have to kill her. I think that's going to be an interesting kind of dynamic for Lee's character. I don't know. I'm not rooting for her to last until the end. I've just never been a big Lee fan. I love that they had Barbara as kind of like Jim Gordon's endgame. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think Lee is going to last. At least I hope she doesn't last until the very end.
Okay, I personally hope that she's as much as
You
I
love
love
Lee.
Lee, as much as I
you
love
don't?
Lee, I actually don't think she's going to last. Only because, like you were saying, how they were kind of setting up for Gordon and Barbara to be endgame. Barbara is pregnant, and you called that one.
I called that
You
one.
called that one.
I've shipped them together since they first broke up. I said this was my end game. I wanted them together, and I finally got it because now she's pregnant. And I love.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how Barbara walked in?
Yeah.
In the middle of Gordon talking to Lee, and she's like, "We need to talk." He's like, "Now is not a good time." She's like, "Well, remember that good time that we had? Well, guess what? I'm pregnant." Like, and then she's like, "Good to see you, Lee," and walked out. Like that was like total boss babe right
That
there.
was such like a move. Like
It was
yeah.
a great move.
Yeah, and I think obviously knowing Gordon, he's not going to leave Barbara by herself with the child.
No.
At this point, he doesn't necessarily he doesn't really have a choice. He's with Lee in real life, so that's all I need to know.
I mean, sure, everybody's loving the Babs and Gordon love child. Everyone's here for it.
I love that.
See, nobody's shipping Lee.
Nobody in
the
going
live
to
chat
ship
right
Lee.
now is shipping
Okay, so
Lee.
what do you guys think is going to happen to Lee? You guys, let me know in the live chat because I really want to know.
They're saying
what are
Lee's going
thoughts?
bye-bye with Barb's being pregnant. That comes from E as grandpa.
She's
ER's
going bye-bye
grandpa.
as in she's leaving on her own terms or as in she's being taken out by somebody else?
She's not going to make it to the end, and that's all that matters. She's not going to last, whether she gets taken out or she chooses to leave. I don't think she's somebody that would willingly leave Gotham, even though she has before.
Probably
but, no, I don't. I think they're going to take her out. I think they're going to not be able to get the chip out of her brain, and they're going to end up having to kill her. And Gordon's going to hate that. But now that he has a baby in Barbara, I think he might be okay with it. And we're at the midway season point because this is episode 6 of the 12 episodes.
This is?
So we're halfway there.
Oh my
halfway
gosh.
to the end of Gotham, you guys.
That's crazy.
I know.
Okay, so we're getting rid of Lee again.
We're getting rid of Lee
are
again.
okay,
Wishful hopes.
are we actually getting rid of Lee and Lee and Ed gonna get back together? Is that a hope?
I mean, they can bond over like getting the government to plant chips into their brain. I don't know. I don't think
we
I
wanna
ship
ship
them.
them?
No. I mean, I guess at this point, like there aren't many people left in Gotham, and if we're still quarantined, then sure, they can both find happiness together.
So do you ship Ed and Penguin or Ed and Lee?
I think Ed and Lee have grown on me.
Okay.
I think Ed and Lee have grown on me more than Penguin and Lee. I think Penguin's happy being by himself with
Okay.
his dog.
With Edward.
Yeah, he just likes to sit at the top of the mountain and like run the kingdom of Gotham and just like control chaos.
Do it on his own.
Yeah, I think he's definitely a lone ranger, and not everybody needs to be with somebody.
That's true.
Lee can have Nigma.
Lee can definitely have Nigma. Okay, so why was Pennyworth going back to their house, to Bruce's house?
Didn't Jeremiah kidnap him and take him back to the house?
Okay, where was he going?
I don't remember. I don't remember where he was going when Jeremiah caught him. He was like in some type of alley, but I don't think that was by the Wayne Mansion, was it?
I wasn't sure. I don't know if I missed what was. So after they were able to broadcast through the radio the mission, I don't know if I missed like where they were heading next.
They stayed at the GCPD because that's where they met up with Jim and told him that they were able to broadcast, or not broadcast it, but send the audio to the reporters, but that they didn't have confirmation that they had actually received it yet. But I don't know, because we saw, I guess Alfred was out. He was on another mission. Like at some point they had finished
And then
getting
he
the
was moving
broadcast,
forward
and
to something
Alfred
else.
he had left, and I guess the rest of them stayed at the GCPD because that's where we saw them next
Yeah.
when Jim came back. So I don't know where Alfred went or what mission
Or
he
what
was
he
on.
was going. Well, if you guys in the chat know, let me know because I was very confused. I was like, 1 second he was at the GCPD.
Alfred was going, this comes from Clary Ray, Alfred was going to the place they were staying so that he could pick up clothes or something so they could spend the night at the GCPD. Okay, so Alfred went back
Okay, just to go get supplies.
just
for
to
the
go get
next day.
supplies and extra clothes, yes.
Of course, you have to shower.
Alfred was going back to his apartment that he has in the crime alley to grab a couple of things, but he got ambushed by Jeremiah, and here we are.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Jeremiah is the one that kidnapped Alfred and took him back to Wayne Manor.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we see that they haven't been at Wayne Manor for quite some time because of all the dust and everything.
Okay. What do we think is Jeremiah's plan with Alfred?
I don't know. Jeremiah is the type of villain that, like, you never know. Like, there are some villains that are predictable, or some villains you always know what their end goal is going to be. But with Jeremiah, like, he always has it, like, planned out 10 steps ahead. And even if we think we're on step 2, like, he throws us for a curveball every single time. Like, props to the Gotham writers, because they really have his end game as, like, a big mystery.
His character is so well developed. I'm pretty sure this is my favorite character that they've ever had in the show.
Yeah, it really is like an enigma.
Yeah. Yeah, his character is like...
more than Ed Nigma.
That's true. I actually never had even thought about it that way.
Yes.
Okay. I want to know if I'm missing a topic.
The villain that Selena and Penguin went after was Magpie, a small Batman villain from the comics. What did you think of Magpie?
Okay, so...
I thought she was kind of random.
Magpie was very strange. I didn't really get the point of having her.
Yeah. But that's what I mean by, like, this penguin and Selena kind of side gig to go and, like, get Magpie. Like, it just felt so random.
See, I feel like Gotham is kind of adding extra characters from the comics to make it seem more like, to kind of fit more of the comics. Yeah. Which we totally appreciate. So, but the only thing is that the storylines are so short, and I'm not enjoying these short storylines because I wanna. If I'm introduced to,
they just feel unnecessary.
They do. I at this point, I just kind of want to stick to the old villains that we've had and kind of get closure.
Yeah, I think it's because we know that the show is ending. Yeah, that, like, we know that there's not much time left to invest in any new characters, and the fact that every week they either have a new character or an old character. Yeah, or an old character, like with Ivy, that they kind of bring back unnecessarily for one episode that really didn't need to happen, but they kind of just, like, I think if they could have cut the season down just a little bit. I know Steve had his theory about them needing to hit their 100 episode mark. But I don't know. I just felt like we could have not done with all these extra side storylines that really don't make sense for the overall story arc.
I feel like we could have hit the 100 episode mark just by using the storyline of all the other characters that were left behind. In the beginning, I did kind of was like, why is Ivy back? We don't need her back. Yeah. But at this point, I'm actually kind of glad that we got her back because we kind of get closure and we know that she's gone. Okay. Like, from that episode, I'm pretty sure she was like, I'm leaving, deuces, you know? Yeah. So at least we were like, okay, she was able to help and she redeemed herself and now she's leaving and now we won't see her again, but at least it left a good taste in our mouth and now she's gone. But we don't know if
we're going to see her again. I don't think we will, but they kind of left that up in the air.
That's true. We still have 6 more episodes, but it would be really nice if we didn't get to see her again because that way I feel like we would have had like closure and we're done with her and we can move on to a different character. But not, like, I don't know, not these storylines that, like...
that really don't fit the end goal of what Gotham is going to be. I think you're right that they are bringing them in to make them true to the comics, but again, it's not necessary. Clary Ray seems to agree. Clary Ray says Magpie and Mother and Orphan, they just set them up. Okay, so Clary Ray thinks that we're setting them up for something in the season finale. It's actually the series finale, though. That's why if it were a season finale, I think I would be okay agreeing with Clary Ray. But do you think we're going to see Magpie and Mother and Orphan again in the finale?
Well, he just killed Magpie.
Oh, yeah, then we're not going to... Well, then again, everyone that we've seen die has a way of coming back to life.
But I don't think we're going to see... That's only if they get taken to Hugo Strange.
I don't think we're going to see Magpie. I don't think we're going to see Mother and Orphan. I don't think we're going to see Ivy. I think I agree with you, Karla, that they're really just doing this to fit in additional... to fluff and to fit in additional characters from the comics for that, authentic comic vibe,
which is nice. I mean, I appreciate that they're able to that they're able to I lost my train of thought
that they're
from
able to
reading.
keep it going.
Yeah, and no, not only that, but that they are also including like these small characters and these small storylines for like fans that are really, really loving like the comic books, and they're like, oh, you know, like I like this character, and they're kind of bringing this character to life. But it does kind of suck that we only get to see them for
I
one
would
episode.
appreciate it if they did it more often throughout the series
whole-
overall,
Yeah.
versus in the last few episodes that we know is leading up to the finale. Like, we're expecting a big finale. We're expecting to finally get the Batman reveal, and we're
Exactly.
only a few episodes away from that. So these don't feel. I mean, and I'm not one of the comic book readers. I'm a fan of the Fox show Gotham, and I obviously know the Batman storyline, and I'm a fan of that. But I didn't read the original Gothic. So maybe if you guys are watching and you think that, you know, it does kind of really satisfy your love of the comics, maybe I think that's what they're trying to do is satisfy those fans. It doesn't seem like anybody, especially in our live chat, seems to be really all that into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice that they're trying to do it, but I do know what you mean, because most of the time, the other seasons, we kind of focused on one villain for like either the whole season or like at least 5 episodes, and then we got rid of them, like Pig, the Mad Hatter, like all these other.
And that's fun. You bring them in, you
keep
you
them.
originate them, you keep them for a while, they finish their storyline, and you move on to the next
Exactly.
one. And I think that's something that we could have consistently done. Real Brian J says, no more Mother and Orphan, please. We don't have time for more fillers. We've only got 5 episodes left. That's what I'm saying. We
Well,
don't need additional filler villains.
Exactly. I think that they could be developing the storylines of the villains that we have right now and just kind of expand on that. But I'm glad that I'm not the only one that feels the same way.
Yes. Nicholas Kelly says, here's some information on Magpie for you. She's basically a low C rank among D rank Gotham rogues that couldn't feel pain due to her pain receptors being altered by Hugo Strange. Okay. Again, I don't think
Does
we
that mean
needed
she
her
can
in
be
Gotham.
killed or not killed?
Oh, yeah. Are you trying to, Nicholas Kelly, are you trying to tell us
Does
that
that
she's
mean that
not
she's gonna
really
come
dead?
back?
I don't want her to come back. I don't want
I
her
liked
to
her
come back.
hair. It was like fun, you know, her vibe.
It was very Sia.
It was
It was
very
a very Sia vibe. I was like, are we trying to do like a Sia knockoff here? What's happening?
It was, but I liked her vibe. I don't know, like her energy. She was a cool character to have for a couple of minutes.
Nicholas Kelly continues. He says, she was basically a bird-themed Catwoman with an obsessive love with shiny things and a psychotic love for Batman. See, then as he's explaining more of what her background is and what her character is, again, it just feels like her need for the diamond. Like, we didn't even see much of Penguin having all of these possessions, or that this diamond
we
really
didn't even
meant
know what
much
was
to him.
go-
Exactly. Like, it just felt like, okay, we need to give Penguin this secret layer so that this random character can come and steal this. Because I don't even think the tie with Selena and Penguin and them wanting to leave Gotham together, like, I don't even think that was necessary for the overall storyline.
Yeah.
Especially, and I don't think it's even true to Penguin's character, because Penguin's character is very much in love with Gotham. And like you said earlier in this after show, he's not somebody that would willingly just leave Gotham or just be
Exactly.
like, there's nothing left for me to do here. Like, Penguin's the villain that always wants to be the king of the hill. He always wants to conquer Gotham at the end of the day. So even this kind of tie with his story, like, just it didn't fit his character.
I think just
in
the
my
whole
opinion.
storyline with like Selena, Penguin, and Magpie. I'm really glad that we got to see Selena and Penguin work together for the first time. I wish it would have been a little bit different, but just like you said, the storyline, even with him having the hideout, we don't even know what was the meaning behind the diamond, what he wanted the diamond for, like.
Yeah, it was just, it was random. I really enjoyed, though, this collective of Barbara, Nigma, Gordon, and Bruce, and how they all had to kind of come together.
Okay, yeah.
I liked that collective of those, because like Nigma and Barbara don't get along, and Jim and Barbara kind of have like a weird relationship where there's like a little bit of sexual tension, and they used to be exes, but they, don't necessarily work together.
Yeah.
So to see them all, or even seeing Alfred be okay with working with Nigma and Barbara, like, we know that he works a lot with Gordon, but just to see those four come together against Eduardo, I think was a little foreshadowing of what's to come later on down in the season and ultimately in the series finale, that, it takes one big greater evil to bring all
yeah.
the others together to conquer it.
Well, that's
because
what
at the end of the day, they all love Gotham.
that's what we were talking about, I think, in like 2 episodes ago, how we saw Barbara and Nigma kind of come together, and how we enjoyed the fact that they were able to have like a scene together, even if it was like, oh, is this Barbara's last time that we're gonna see her? That was one of the theories that we were having. And now I enjoy kind of seeing them all together work towards one common goal, and I really, really definitely enjoyed that.
You know what else I didn't? I know we're harping on this, but what else I didn't enjoy or think was another reason this Penguin Selena thing didn't really work is Selena really liked Tabitha, and Penguin's the one that killed Tabitha. So for her to willingly just forgive that easily, which
by just saying an eye for an eye, type
exactly, and we see this intensity of her this season where she's very much disliking Jeremiah because Jeremiah hurt her. Like you know that she is very much she holds on to things, so for her to let that go, especially since Tabitha only died a few episodes ago and it happened this season, that was like a random, like it just also didn't fit the overall story of what we've seen this season or in Gotham overall.
I know what you mean. Well, you guys know what we liked, you guys know what we didn't like. Why don't we get into some predictions?
Yes, predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
What do you think is to come later this season, Barb? I was gonna call you Barbara.
You were gonna call me Barbara?
I was gonna call you Barbara because I was reading the live chat and they mentioned Barbara. Karla.
I feel like a boss if you call me Barbara. So thank you.
Who's the boss?
Okay, predictions. Selena and Penguin are gonna stay together for a long time, but they are going to work. They're not going to stay together for a long time.
Oh, you said they're not.
They're not going to, but they're going to work together again, for sure. And now even more because Jeremiah is back.
Okay. I just had a theory that popped into mind.
Go ahead.
Seeing Penguin and Selena come together and then seeing Barbara, Nigma, Gordon, Bruce coming together, I think there was an overarching theme that this episode was going to portray, was that saying that people that aren't necessarily allies will come together for one greater common purpose. So I think that's where the tie, if that's the theory that the Gotham writers were going for, which again, I think the whole Penguin Selena thing was a bit of a stretch, but if that's the overall theme of the episode, it does make sense. But I don't like it either.
You're like, I still don't like it. Before I say my next prediction, you guys in the chat, if you guys have your predictions, give them to us. Zach will read them after we are done giving our own. Well, this is not really a prediction because we already know that he's coming back, but I think Eduardo will be back as Bane next week. Yeah, I don't think
we only have 5 episodes. They have to bring him in.
5 episodes, so I'm really hoping that they don't keep him away next. Actually, that might be a lie. Because I have a feeling that next week's episode is going to be completely focused on Bruce and Jeremiah. I think this might be the last big battle that we get between them because the way that the episode ended, we see Jeremiah saying it's a big day. We see that he cloned the parents. So I think that next week's episode is really going to be focused on that.
Jeremiah, yeah.
So
I think we'll skip. Yeah, I think I'm with you. We'll skip Bane next week, but he's definitely going to be in the final 4.
I mean,
like they can't cut him out anymore. They can't add any more mother and child villains.
I want his storyline to develop from beginning till the end, where we just see him. Lee. This is a prediction that I'm not really sure if I should go with or not, but I'm going to go with it because I want Lee to stay. I don't really want her to go. I have a feeling that somehow Lee and Ed are going to ignite their love again.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have it because Ed himself was like, "Oh, I'm not I don't want to be here for their for when Lee and Gordon were together, he's like, oh, I don't want to stay here for their grand reunion. Yeah. And I think it's because he still has feelings for Lee. And at this point, Lee is not going to get in the way of Barbara and Gordon. That's not
done.
Lee's
There's
character. There's a baby. We know that Barbara and Gordon are going to be endgame for sure. And either Lee is going to be leaving willingly, or she's going to be knocked out by somebody, or she's going to go back with Ed and live happily ever after.
Okay. I can see that. I can see her leaving. Not
Okay.
willingly. Ivan Soda was excited about the Ace Chemicals, which is where we see Bruce and Jeremiah coming together next week.
Okay.
Mir Domains agrees that the next episode will be Jeremiah's last episode. He's not sure where it goes from there, but he thinks that Bane will dominate the last 4, which I agree. I think Bane is going to be the big bad that they all have to take down together. Nicholas Kelly says his prediction is that we will see the Creeper from the Batman animated series. His name was Jack Ryder, and he was the second persona aside from Jeremiah that fell into the chemicals. We're going to get another villain introduced. The Creeper is who Nicholas Kelly is predicting.
Okay, so then we will only get him for like next week's episode, I'm guessing, since it's like
the same way we had
Magpie.
Magpie, yeah. Clary Ray says, I don't think Jeremiah and Selena are going to have another scene together because I don't think Jeremiah is going to make it past next episode. So everyone thinks Jeremiah's last episode is next week.
Oh no, I didn't think about Jeremiah's
Ivan
episode.
Soto agreed. Jeremiah will take his final step into becoming the Joker, the clown prince of crime. Interesting.
Okay, do you actually think he won't make it till the end?
I don't think Jeremiah's going to make it to the end.
Okay.
He's not going to be an endgame. No. I mean, maybe. I don't think we'll see him. That's actually a really good question. I think he is going to escape into Gotham world because ultimately he's whatever. I think next week at the Ace Chemicals is what's going to be, like they said in the live chat, it's going to be his grand finale. That's the last time we're going to see this character because the character is now going to fully evolve into the Joker because they've said online, they've speculated there is one more Joker to come. How that happens, I don't know yet. But I think we're definitely going to see him evolve into the Joker, and then that's the last we're going to see of him. Maybe we'll get like a little nostalgia clip of him in the finale, only because it is the series finale and they want to tie it up with a nice bow.
Yeah.
But I think his storyline is coming to an end, and it's going to end with him becoming the Joker, the final version of the Joker.
I like that prediction. Because that way, like, we all kind of become satisfied with the ending of his storyline.
Spirit Hero says that Echo's going to be in the next episode too. Do you think Echo's going to make it?
I think Echo makes it with him.
Long term, you don't think Echo dies?
No.
Okay.
No.
Muhammad says Barbara Keene will definitely be back with Gordon. I think at this point, like, they're having a baby together. It's kind of a good one. Billie Jean Girl 24 asks, do you see the look Lee gave Jim when she found out that Barbara is pregnant with Jim's baby?
We did.
Did you? She is not feeling it.
No, not at all.
No, I don't think Lee. So do you think Lee still has feelings for Gordon?
Of course.
Do you think there's going to be any tension between them in the coming episodes, or do you think that storyline is completely done?
I think if anything, he's going to apologize because, like, now they won't really be able to be together.
Yeah.
And she's going to be understanding, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think their storylines, I don't think that they're going to end badly.
Yeah, I think
they're going to come to peace.
I don't know. I think he might end up having, him or his team of these new villains are going to end up having to kill Lee.
Because of the chip?
Because they're not going to be able to get the chip out of her, and she's going to end up being a pawn for Walker. And the same way they're going to have to take out Walker and Eduardo, they're going to have to take out Lee.
That makes sense.
It makes sense. I think Gordon will probably want to really save her, so that might be her only redemption.
You know what might happen, actually?
What?
Since Lee is with them and Walker's probably going to want Lee back, they might at nighttime take Lee, like have Lee leave in her own terms and then fight next to them. Mm-hmm. And she might get killed just because she'll be with them during the final battle. That's
exactly what I think is going to happen. Unless Gordon at the last minute finds a way to save her and kill the rest of them without killing her, which I think is highly unlikely. But again, hashtag it's Gotham.
Well, I guess we'll just have to tune in next week and find out. Mm-hmm. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in with us. Once again, happy Valentine's Day. I'm your host, Karla Beltran. You can follow me on Instagram at I am Karla Beltran or on Twitter at Karla Beltran with an R at the end.
Yes, and I'm Zack Peter. You guys can follow me at Just Plain Zack. That's Zack with a K at the end because I know people always spell it with an H. Just Plain Zack all over the internet and justplainzack.com. Go.
Well, you guys, see you guys next week.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.